Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. And I'm your host, Sarah Dry. This week, I decided to talk about faith. What's your religion? And is that religion kind? Is it inclusive? Is it diversified? Is it something that's non-judgmental, but supportive and loving? I don't care what religion people have, but the common denominator and the baseline of everything is kindness, lovingness, compassion, empathy, consideration, all of that. Because if your religion is one that passes judgment on other people, that dismisses other people for some reason or other, or condemns people because they're not in your faith, then that isn't God's religion. Whatever your God is, God, universe, spirit, source, energy, divine, whatever it is. I kind of classify mine as the divine wisdom that I get from the collective wisdom of the universe. My God is that accumulation of wisdom, not any one particular person. And I've often wondered, although I do resonate with some particular religions, why have I not been kind of really religious? I'm a woman of faith. And I think what it is, I can't do the work I do if I'm so dogmatic on one thing. If I'm just pro Jesus and not pro anything else, then how can I represent everybody? And here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com, on these podcasts, I represent people from all walks of life. And their faith may be different. Oh my goodness, just look at Christianity and how many different faiths there are in that. But I think what we need to look at is what is the common denominator? What should be the common denominator? I think when you're a person that has chosen to be kind and considerate, embracing, put yourself out there, be there for others, then you are doing whatever your God's will is. But first and foremost, we do need to invest in ourselves and ignite that heart, soul, and spirit within, that God within, whatever God you wish to call it, or source or energy. It doesn't matter. It's what is inside of you. Is there something so overwhelmingly compassionate and loving and calling that you want to get out there and share with others in a way that is invitational, that is inspirational, that isn't dictational, that is inclusive, that is kind, considerate, understanding, passionate, all of those good words. You see, when you have a religion condemning someone because they're gay or they're a different color, economic situation, maybe different sexuality, and God casts you out. No, what Bible are you reading? It's obviously one that's been rewritten, because God embraces everybody, even those that will commit evil. But what he does is holds up a mirror to them and asks them to be accountable for that. See, that accountability for our actions is on our turf. Am I hurting someone else knowingly to gain something myself? That I perceive as the devil's work. If you are hurting other people to gain something for yourself at their expense, that's the devil's work. The devil isn't down in hell. The devil's within. And we can suppress or ignite. And if you've got people out there knowingly committing harm for their own gain or their own excuse, like the soldier, I'm just following orders, but you're knowingly hurting someone and you know that to be wrong, then what are those orders? Do not abstain because I'm following orders dutifully. No, you are still committing those atrocities and using the order as an excuse. So I firmly believe in accountability, ownership over our actions. Now, we make actions and do things in a way that is hurtful unknowingly. We don't realize that that action caused someone pain, but we do know ethically the right and wrong. We do know that if our ego is so insecure and that we need to pull someone down to pull ourselves up, that is wrong. However you want to justify it, it's wrong. So maybe we should be looking at as wrong and rights. The wrongs are harming others for your own ego, your own insecurity, your own gain. The rights are being true to who you are with your own divine self inside and being there of service to other people in a positive way. That doesn't mean that you are giving of yourself at the expense of yourself. It's very, very important that you fortify yourself, that you be the love unto self, that you ignite with whatever faith you are, whatever scientific energy, God, essence, whatever it is, you ignite with it. You allow it to come in, to generate that love in your heart, to give you that clarity of mind, to ignite your spirit into action. That knowingness that comes from that divine wisdom, a higher intelligence. See, we look at AI as the artificial intelligence, and that AI is accumulation of human intelligence, collective human intelligence. The universe is a collection of universal knowledge from all many planets and many worlds. So that's what I tap into, because that wisdom is so much more profound than we as earthlings can ever know. And when we're willing to surrender and allow that knowledge to come down into us, then we truly actually embrace the knowingness we need to know when we need to know it, that clarity. And we can take action and we can do things in a way that we know we're supported, we know we're doing the right thing, and we know we're helping someone else. Even sometimes if it's holding up a mirror to someone and saying, who are you hurting? Who are you hurting? Spew out into the mirror what you've just spewed out to everyone else. How ugly is it? Is it really you, or have you fallen into a trap? A trap of one-upmanship, of one egoship, of bashing someone else to gain your right. Because you need to stop and look at yourself and look how ugly it is. And is that how you really want to be represented in the world? Is it something, or are you someone that you would want to choose as a friend, that you would go to in time of need? See, we can all spew, and I'm out there on media, social media, and through my shows on accountability. I stand up wherever I can stand up for cruelty. And what we're seeing right now, especially from America, Russia, China, Korea, Israel, is outright cruelty. And the people that are conducting this cruelty are egomaniacs, are people that feel less than. And the only way they can feel more important is to annihilate. That is their insecurity. That is their responsibility. We need to hold them accountable for their actions. But what about yours? Who are you supporting? Are you supporting those turning a blind eye, putting your head in the sand. Because if your backside's out there, folks, you really don't want that. We have to be aware to care, because when we care, we can take action. Repeat that. When we're aware, we care. When we care, we take action. So, as I've said on many other shows, you see the atrocities that are going on out there, and you can't speak for everything. So choose something that's got your gut in a twist. And I know it could be all of it, because it is with me, but choose what your empowerment is. Maybe it's signing petitions. Maybe it's going on the marches. Maybe it's supporting the social medias. Maybe it's doing shows like this, writing a book, speaking out to other people. Every drop of positivity counts. When we make people aware, and I have actually found quite astounding of how many people are unaware of truly what's going on because they don't want to know, la, 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 as long as it's not me, it's okay. But what they don't realize is that everything that's going on is going to affect all your me's, every one of you globally. A giant is crumbling. That giant is America. It's crumbling under one man and all the billionaires that support him. In their greed and their opulence, I did another show on this a while ago on poverty and richness. Who's really rich? You can have somebody living paycheck to paycheck, but they have a loving family and they live in gratitude and they celebrate everything they have. Then you have the person who's the billionaire on the way to their trillionaire, and nothing is ever enough. They're petrified of losing their money. Their money becomes their power. It distorts their thinking, and they lose their way. And then you've got other billionaires that give most of their money away. I take what I need and I pour it into something that can generate and seed opportunities for others. I was lucky enough to become a billionaire. Now it's time for me to seed opportunities for other people. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that across the board. There's some really good people that are giving their money away. But we're seeing on the other edge of the scale, how can I make more money? How can I make more money? How can I make more money? I need more, I need more, I need more. And I don't care who I tread on to get it. That's the evil. That is the evil. And evil comes from insecurity. Evil comes from not taking accountability for our own actions. Evil comes from turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to the pain that you're causing. Evil comes from an inner child that feels lost and lonely and left behind. Evil comes from the people that refuse to do the work on themselves and that blame everybody else and out to get everyone and make them pay for their misery. Every single one of us has gone through a challenge in life. Every single one of us has had a mountain to climb. Every single one of us has fallen down the canyons. It's up to us how we get back up. It's up to us what we do next. And what we do next is we find a way forward and we listen and we learn and we apply into strengthening ourselves, going through the process of healing, going through the process of self-discovery, going through the process of mastering our gift, going through the process of sharing it out and elevating ourselves to a higher level. See, that's my God. The God that shines down upon us within us and ignites that wisdom and that shows us the path moving forward and shows us how to walk it in a way that we become enriched and our cup runneth over, because we don't do it on our own. God puts people in your way, that divine wisdom. It puts people in your way. And when you're on that journey of healing, it's not about foot to the pedal and go. 1 gear, 2 gear, 3 gear. It is about taking your time, meeting people along the way, maybe partaking of their wisdom or their skill or their program, and allowing it to ignite something inside of you that you now can take on. And as you go and meet people who help you, you in turn help other people who are also on the journey of life. That is what it's about. It's about constantly giving the circle, right? The circle like an onion. It has one layer, then another layer, then another layer, then another layer. But what generates all those layers? The core. What generates a generator? The core. What generates anything? The core. The core is the heart, the soul, and the spirit. And when you allow your God to come in and you surrender in that allowance and you listen and you learn and you apply, you now have ignited that wisdom inside of you. And it's there whenever you need it, whenever you call upon it. And it will be your compass leading you forward. It will guide you to a better life. It will guide you to a more meaningful purpose. It will guide you to kindness and consideration. Even it will guide you to healing from whatever abuse that you have taken at the hands of those cruel people. So yes, I am a woman of faith. I believe that the universal wisdom comes through us, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, whatever you are. The bottom line is the gods are love. And we embrace that love, we embrace that wisdom, we become that love itself. It's very simple, very corny, but it's very true. So, how do we do that? How do we embrace that love, that core? We do it because we open up. We do it because we choose not to go down that rabbit hole of hate and everything else. My God, it's so easy when you look at social media and another thing they've done, and another thing people are doing to each other. There's a mama in me that just wants to slap their backsides and send them to their room without any supper. It's not going to change anything. But we do need to go back to accountability, a child being accountable for their actions and understanding why that accountability needs to be there. Not punishment for punishment's sake, understanding why you're being held accountable, why that action is not acceptable, why that verbiage is not acceptable. And if we don't teach children self-respect and to respect others, children to adult, and not carte blanche. If an adult is being rude, they have every right to hold accountable. But I'm talking about general respect, listening, learning, applying, and not believing you have the right to be rude and vulgar and nasty. Yet again, there was another stabbing of an innocent person by teens. And yet again, I speak to my book, Our Forgotten Children. My chapter was on that. When we see children carte blanche go out and hurt someone else, it's because they're hurt and they don't know how to handle it. And we have let them down as adults. We've let them down. And they don't know how to cope with this. So what are we going to do to change that narrative? Well, one of the things we need to do is show them boundaries. Do not cross that boundary. What is your boundary that you don't want others to cross? To be kind and considerate and serving of other people, to learn to volunteer to set the table, volunteer to carry the groceries, volunteer to help out with the siblings, volunteer to help a friend at school, volunteer for something that serves other people, and to learn what it's like to do things for other people. Not always necessarily getting a thank you or praise, but knowing in your heart you made a difference. And really generating that in a child, that to share and to give to others is enrichment of the heart and soul. The satisfaction of knowing that you've helped somebody else in some way is so very pleasing. And the more we do that, the more it generates that pleasure within ourselves. And I don't mean people pleaser, folks. I mean doing something out of the kindness of your heart, just because. And knowing that you have helped somebody, whether they acknowledge it or not, it doesn't matter how it makes you feel. Because in serving each other, That's what generates and fulfills each other. So this philosophy is my God. This philosophy of being there for each other in any which way. I choose to be here through the podcasts, through the people I interview for my own podcasts, through the books that I produce, for the books that I participate in, for the talks that I give. If somebody gets one thing out of me that benefits them in any way, my job is done. I could have a dozen people in the room and each person will get something different. They'll get what they need in that moment. It's not for me to say, did you get it all? Now you've got to do an exam on it. No. Did you hear me? What did you learn from it? And if you apply it, how is it going to benefit you? Only you can answer that. And when I do talks and when I do podcasts, all I can do is put it out there. It's up to how you receive it and what you do with it, because it's out of my hands now. But it's in God's hands, or the universe's hands, source, energy, divine, whatever hands, higher power, higher intelligence, universal I. I'm going to do a poster on that. When we download the wisdom, and we know what we know when we need to know it in such clarity and such truth, that we don't need to verify, validate, do anything. We just trust, for it is, just is. And we can feel it in our chest and in our core and in our heart and our very being. And we know that whatever it is, we know that whoever we share it with is going to be for the right reason. The people that have succumbed to the devilish ways want to make devils out of everyone else. Because when you've stepped into that devilish way, you've lost yourself. Now somebody else can manipulate you. So I know it's easy to get angry, easy to go them. And I am one to say there are what I call the third dimensioners. There are people that have chosen not to heal themselves. They have chosen not to grow intellectually, divinely, wisdom. They choose to stay in their ignorance. They choose to stay in their hate and their fear and their loathing and their blame. For them, it's easier. For me, that would be living in pain. But for them, it's what they know, and they don't want to know anything else. And we can't do anything to help them because there's free will. If they decide to come onto that fourth dimension and say, I'm tired of living like that, I know there's got to be something more. Will you show me the way? Then the fifth dimensioners who have already traveled there and have skills and tools now are here to say, try this. I'm going to support you here. Travel that road. It will really help you. And the person has to apply. The person has to walk it. But you're here as a fifth dimensioner to help them because they have chosen to walk that path of healing. But you can't help people that are still in the blame game. I've heard stories of people that have voted for a certain person in a country that's declining. And they didn't do it because they liked him. They did it because they were upset about something and felt nobody was paying attention to it. And that one thing, because he said he was going to take care of it, made them blindly vote without looking at everything else that was said. And now whatever else is being done, as long as they get what they want, they're going to turn a blind and deaf ear to everything else. You may have a good heart, but you're following devilish ways. Because if one gets hurt, everyone gets hurt. That's what the divine love is. If you're hurting, I'm hurting. That's the way it works. If I'm in abundance, I can enrich you in abundance. But to hurt one is to hurt all. That is truth. Because while you're only focusing on one thing, price of eggs, everything else is crumbling around it. And guaranteeing the chickens will go too. And only when you've got nothing left, you go, but how did this happen? How did this happen? You chose not to pay attention. You chose not to stand up. You chose not to heal your own inner self. You chose to ignore the devil, the devils in this case. Everything has a decline. Even as we walk forward in life, we are all going to face something that is going to be what I call nudge, nudge, wink, wink, or cosmic 2x4. We get the warnings, we get the invitation, and sometimes we need to have the cosmic 2x4 and be in the canyon trying to get back up and trying to get back out. The alligators biting at us. But it's all a lesson. It's not out to get you or punish you. It's out to show you, tap into your resilience, tap into your inner knowledge, tap into your divine wisdom. It will show you the way out. And on that journey, on the way out, you'll discover things about yourself that you never knew. And you think, if I've discovered this, and if I can do that, and I feel this, what else is there? And you take that journey of self-discovery, of wonderment, of joy, and you share it out with everyone else on your journey of life. That's whatever God you choose to follow is God's message. Sharing our love, sharing our joy, be there for each other, whether it's in misery or in light, but being that beacon of light for people who choose to come out of the darkness. I spent about 8 years in the darkness. It was escapism because outside too much was happening to me. It was shattering my spirit. It was killing my soul. And it was escapism. I was the humanoid where everybody thought everything was all right. And inside, I was hiding in the dark, too scared to come out and be hurt again. That light was always there. When I realized, I'm becoming apathetic. It's too easy to live here. I chose to come out into the light. And when I did, the light was blinding at first, and I felt shadows were chasing me on my way. Then I realized the shadows were contouring me, giving shape to my light. And that light was no longer blinding, for I absorbed the light and became the light. I now can go into any darkness without fear or worry, because I am the light in that darkness. But I choose certain darknesses not to go in, because know how much light is in there, the repression and oppression of that hate, of that fear, of that loathing, of that, is too much. And it feels like a heavy weight in you, and you feel that you're not free to move. So I don't go to the third dimensions anymore to try and pull them out. I show them the light, and they've got to walk towards it. And when they're there, I'm there to help. Direct them to the right person who can help them find their light. This is my faith. This is my God working through me. Universal intelligence working through me divinely, connecting my heart, soul, and spirit into meaningful purpose, and being the love from self, of self, to others. Sharing the passion and the joy of life. Sharing all that we can be, all that I know we can be, and allowing ourselves to become that glorious human being, not humanoiding. So, what faith are you? And does your faith become inclusive? Is everybody under that umbrella, no matter black, white, pink, yellow, polka dot, gay, straight, binary, poor, rich, disabled? Are they all welcome? Are they all given equal equality? Are they all there to receive love, become love, and share love? Then you have a faith that counts. But if your faith says you have to come to Jesus, and if you don't, you'll go to the devil, that is not God's faith. They don't take gays, they don't take this, they don't take that. That is not God's faith. That's man's interpretation to serve man. It is not to serve humanity. God is kindness. God is caring. God is accountability, our own. God is love. God is wisdom. And God is within every one of us, no matter what your faith is. My universal intelligence is my God. It has guided me and propelled me, and for a while I lost it. And when I refound it, it became my compass. It even took me down some roads that didn't benefit me, but did benefit me in the long run. Sometimes we've got to have the nasty medicine in order to make us well. And when we understand that, we'll take it, because what am I meant to learn from this? I went down some very heavy paths in the last, I've been doing this now 13 years, 12 years with my own thing, but up until 2012, I had gone down this path of self-discovery, believing in everything. And what I believed in was true. It was the human element that got in the way. And that human element is what caused everything to collapse. But ultimately, it was to send me on this path, the path of podcasting, the path of bringing you such wisdom and such wonderful people. People have discovered their own beautiful essence, the people that have stepped into their own light. People have stepped into something and finding their meaningful purpose, their skills, their tools that they now share here with you. And my job now is to bring you them under this umbrella with all the people up there that you see behind me. They dare to live fearlessly. I'm not selfish. I'm just not easily manipulated. Mission Accepted 262. Our Forgotten Children, which is a book I produced, my own book, my own self-discovery. And all of this is something where the door opened up for me because somebody heard my message, heard what I stood for, heard who I am, and wanted me to partake into something that was meaningful. See, it's not for me to go out there and impose myself on people. It's for me to give a platform for they can partake or not partake. If I'm invited to give a speak, then that's great. If I just do it here, and I'm invited on many podcasts, that's okay too. So, what is your faith? And how faithful are you to it? How trusting are you of it? And what does it really stand for? I've just interviewed Keith Mitchell, who's put out a gospel album. He's alive, talking about Jesus and God and what it's done for him, how it's guided him all his life, how it's helped him through the hard times, and the message that God has right now for everyone else. That's his platform. Somebody who's a Buddhist, who I've had them as well, they come from their platform. People who are Muslim, true Muslim, I'm not talking about the contaminated version where they suppress and suppress and suppress or kill. That isn't of the Quran. That's again a manipulation. It doesn't matter what religion people are coming from or who they worship. It's what's the core, what's at the core. And what's at the core of everything is kindness, caring, compassion, empathy, consideration, understanding, love, accountability, self-accountability. And when we come from that dialogue, then we know how to conduct ourselves, how to let that force of divine wisdom come through us, engage us, ignite us, and put us on a path of service where we're here to serve each other, here to serve planet, and here to bring the light, the love, and the divine essence to everyone. It is not a war. My God's better than your God. It isn't my God tells you what to do or you're going to go to hell. That's not faith. That's man's interpretation for his own self-serving. So if any religion tells you God wants me to whip you, or God wants me to punish you, or God wants me to do that, that's not God. God will find a way to make you accountable. God will find a way for you to face what it is you're doing. And you will pay for that, or you will have to redirect. And that would be God's doing, not us. No human has the right to condemn someone else. Hold accountable, yes. Make them accountable for their actions. Yes, we have to have that. Otherwise, we're lawless. We have everybody running free, doing whatever they want. There are boundaries. There are sensibilities. There are accountabilities. That is not the confinement, but that is the teachings and the compass of how we walk. So if people are using God in a self-serving way, if people are hurting other people for their own ego and self-importance, for their own power, be it a world leader, country leader, a pastor, someone you work with, a husband or a wife, any of those people that do that, that is wrong. That is harmful. And that serves only them, not you. If you can hold them accountable, do. If not, get out. Find your vibe tribe, people that you resonate with, that support and love each other. Because when you gain, I gain. When you step into love and light, we gain. When you share that love and light with other people and they light up, we all gain. That is the faith. That is the God. That is the wisdom and the truth. It's not about punishment. It's not about control. It's not about, there's a word there that wants to come, but it won't. When you see anybody, especially in the name of God, committing atrocities over other people, that is the devil's work. They are the devil. Because if you can condemn someone because they didn't what your God do, or in fact that you were just a woman, or maybe you were gay, or maybe you spoke out, and this is what they do, that is not God's work. That is humans' manipulation, using God as a tool. It is quintessentially a cult. Anybody that uses God to terrorize and control other people is a cult. And we all know what happens with cults. So, what's your religion? Is it based in kindness? Is it based in love? Do you feel it inside of you? Are you that divine essence? Are you compelled to help other people? Are you compelled to put wrongs right and to be there for the people that have been spat out by society and help them back on their feet, empower them to empower themselves? Is this what your faith does? Does it make you come together in gratitude to God and not service to God? We don't serve God, God serves us. What we give back to God is gratitude for his service or divine service to us. They're here, whichever God it is, to guide us, with their wisdom, with their knowledge, with their passion and compassion to guide us on our path. That's their job, to ignite your heart and soul and spirit into being. We are in service of everyone else, but we are in gratitude to that higher power. So it's not about being of service to God in a way that you lose yourself. It's being empowered by God to serve others and then to worship Him in gratitude for what He does for us. We don't need to serve God. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we serve ourselves in becoming godlike, and I don't mean egocentric or trying to be the Pope, I mean in service to others, coming from a truth, a love, a compassion, and understanding, then we are godlike. And that is God serving us, showing us the way forward. Right? It's not about servitude. It's about of service. And when we look to God in gratitude for all that they give, and we become that light, we become that God essence, and we do God's work, right? We are doing the service. So when you are worshiping, it's not about serving God, it's about being grateful to God for giving us the ability to serve each other. Some people just serve God and they forget to serve everyone else. It's about empowering you and all that you are so that you can be of service, divine service to others. So be grateful to whatever power you believe, whatever faith you live in. Be very grateful for all the wisdom and the knowledge and the power that they give you, the empowerment to be the essence of being, the gift that you are. Embrace all of that. Be grateful to God and show your gratitude. And then be of service of what He's designed you to be and serve one another. Ultimately, that's what it's about. So, this is this week's show. Last week I did it on Be Kind Online. And I seem to be in a theme of this right now. And when I do a show, very often I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I press the button and see what comes out, because this is the message that they want me to speak. So it's been a lot of be kind to self, be kind to others, be loving, step up for the people that are oppressed. Do not turn a blind eye. Well, if it doesn't affect me, why should I do it? It affects everybody. The house of cards, pull one card and all the other cards start tumbling. Just because you're on that card and you think you're okay, don't assume. It takes everyone to stand up. It takes everyone to change it up. It takes everyone being there for each other, to support everyone, to stand tall against the giants. Push back in a way of self-empowerment, community empowerment, country empowerment, global empowerment, and universal empowerment. Because when we come together and we stand tall as an individual, if with our orchestra, and we choose harmoniously to stand up against those giants, we diminish the devil, because the devil can't stand love. So the more we share the love, the more we become the love, the more we diminish the devil and the devils that are out there, and the devil that's within, because the devil always resides within, waiting to come out. Don't let it. Let love win. Just simply let love win. So I wish for all of you, from the bottom of my heart and soul and spirit, the ignition of your heart, the ignition of your wisdom coming through your soul. Let your spirit fly and let your mind know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. And in that knowledge, in that it is, Find the peace that is so beautifully peaceful in that moment. So I wish all of you love and peace and joy and meaningful purpose. Until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.